Welcome back to Riverbank Railways, and my plan has worked. I was delighted and I'm going to share it. So I started work on putting in the supporting struts. So because everything is open plan, these narrow pieces of boards supporting the track are perfect at the joints, but there's a 75 centimeter gap here and there was just a little bit of give in the middle. So I've started adding some 1x2s across just to give it that support, and it makes it like rigid, it doesn't move. And you can see it here as well, I've gone across underneath, and that means that that piece of baseboard doesn't move. And then I said, right, I'm going to tackle the most complex part of this, the bit that I've been dreading, which was the swinging gate. How am I going to align the boards and the track so that they don't move like to the millimeter, even though the whole thing swings in and out. And I was trying to, there's two joints, one is here obviously, and then one is on the other side. This one was hard, but then not too hard. I eventually figured I can't use like anything straight, or can't use dowels or anything like that, because it's going to rotate in and you'd have to get the angle of the hole just right and everything and all that. But I was like, oh, I could use a slot, because a slot can slide in. And I had bought a router specifically for her. I knew something like this was coming up. So I created a slot here and fixed it. Everything was screwed in tight before I started cutting anything. So I created this groove along here and then screwed this in and had it all perfect. And then created one with a tongue to go in as well. And when you slide this in, it just slides exactly into place and there's no give. There was no give on this side, but there was a tiny little bit of give on this side, a couple of mils. So all I did was just put some glue, some like Gorilla Glue just along here, and it puffed up and expanded, and then I just sanded it down so that there was a perfect fit. On the other side, I couldn't do that because this is the side that's swinging past. So I can't have anything that sticks out further than the curve. And these latches are good for holding things in place, but they're not perfect. They don't hold it like exactly in place. So I was like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, and I came up with, I could use a dowel. So I could drill a perfect hole, I could use a dowel, and then I could slide the dowel back and forth into the hole once it's fixed, because it doesn't have to support it. All the support is here already. It just has to align it perfectly. And I just tested it out a few minutes ago and it worked perfectly. So I'll just show you it in action. Very complicated here as well. You might be thinking, why did I leave it right out the edge? I had to leave enough space for this catch to go. I can't have it sticking out too far. I had to do a lot of sanding on this even after cutting, just to allow everything to slide in. So it looks a bit wonky, but it works. And that's the main thing. So if we slide our gate in, it'll slide through there perfectly. And then you can see here, it's just slotting nicely into place. So I'll do the catches up. And this little one down here. All right, so the frame won't move, but because the board was cut, I had to support it. So you can see here, there is no give in that at all. It just slots perfectly, and it's perfectly within half a mil. And I can do a bit of sanding there, but it's going to be on cork and track anyway. So that just means that the rails are going to stay aligned basically. And on this one, my handy little dowel feature, you can see what I'm talking about here with the give. So although it's here, there is a tiny bit of give in that wood. But if I slide this guy across, the end of the dowel is tapered and sanded, so it just slots into the hole. And it goes in there, it's perfectly aligned, and now there's no give whatsoever. And that's exactly what I wanted. So that should work. It should work. There's going to be upper levels and stuff, but that method with the dowel and everything, I'm hoping that that's going to work. The other levels will be a lot easier as well, because we won't have this little corner piece to contend with. I'll be a lot more flexible in where I can put them. But I was very happy. See how working. I was putting that off and putting it off. That's why there hasn't been an update on that bit for a while. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And I'm not a natural woodworker or anything like that, so I was like, there must be a solution for this. So eventually I figured it out. So now it's just a case of putting in those 1x2 supports in other locations around, and that'll be the support part done, and then we'll get on to some track lane and some cork and stuff. Very exciting stuff. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe it gives you some ideas. The only thing I'm concerned about, and I know probably some of the woodworkers out there will be thinking about this, is what happens in the summer, what happens with shrinkage and expanding and all this kind of stuff. the truth is I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. So this wood has been sealed and all that, so I'm hoping, but I'm not sure about the frame, whether it'll expand too much. Like, it's been in place for a year or so, and all of this has remained perfectly, but it hasn't been down to the millimeter like this, so I'm hoping it doesn't expand. If it does, we'll deal with it then and figure it out. But for now, I'm happy, and let's just go with that. All right, thanks very much. See you next month, everyone. Bye-bye.